We would like to know, please, what will the education system look like after the broadcast? Will there be any big changes?
Yes, it will be corrected because it has been modelled after something that has got a deeper, darker agenda. Children these days have the higher vibrational beings. They are incredible. They are so in tune, and they have been trained out of that vibration through their educational systems. The peer pressure and the rules and the way that they are teaching these children who are naturally gifted is actually dumbing them down, and it is isolating them more profoundly and confusing them more. And so the system has to have a massive overhaul, because it is a lesser extent another crime of humanity by not honouring and servicing the gifted children and just children in general, who are so much more sensitive to their environments and their worlds, are so much more connected to their higher beings. I mean, they are truly gifts to humanity. And the education system is very stale, and while they try to be progressive with fancy modelling systems of how best to approach things, it's coming from a very arrogant place, because you don't actually understand who you're teaching. You don't actually understand the skill sets and the energies that these children are resonating through. And so the systems are not working for the children. You have so much more advanced children who are so desperate for learning their higher advanced stuff, that they are being taught basic stuff, that they get so bored that it looks like they're behaving badly. So this is when your doctors come in and say, I can give that child some Ritalin or some other poison, basically, to pause their brains, so they can't function at their normal high level selves. And so the system has already been trying to get these children to dumb them down, to be able to pause them. They are gifts. And so when you neglect your gifts, they can have tremendous challenges. And this is the reason why you have such high suicide rates amongst the children. The parents will say, and the teachers will say, oh, this is because the children were bullied. No, it's the systems that have crushed the souls of these very special beings. It is very sad. It is very sad what those systems have been doing. And on purpose, they wanted to control children at a very young age. It's like breaking in a horse or a puppy. You've got to be firm with discipline and routine, and it is very sad. It is very, very, very sad. And we feel the struggles with the parents who want their children to be the diligent ones, to be the smart cookies, to really shine. And it takes an extraordinary child to really shine in these systems. There's so much we could say about this, and we're so excited that parents will finally be able to accept their children as they are, regardless of their grades, because you're not measuring your child fairly when you're using an education system that is and has never really been focused on your children. And that's what we would like to say about that today.
Thank you very much. And can we please offer some love and support and healing to any child at the moment who is struggling with this?
Yes, absolutely. They are naturally resonating with the higher frequency and energies that the planet has been experiencing as we have been heightening this. And so they are naturally grounding themselves down with all of their ways and methods. They are naturally able to be jolly and to pick themselves up at a very younger age, and kind of not let the peer pressure get to them as such. But then, of course, there is that certain age group where they are very focused and self-concerned about if they are fitting in, because ultimately you all can't fit into the systems, because your systems are not shaped for you. They don't nurture you. They don't hold you in the right places. And so, of course, these beautiful younger children who want to fit in, but cannot see themselves fitting in because they'd have to lose an identity. They'd have to lose their intuition. They'd have to lose their self-confidence. They'd have to lose a whole lot to be able to fit into the systems that are encouraging and indoctrinating children. So we can definitely give them love, but they have been able to ground themselves more, and they are very much protected and supported, and they actually bounce off each other. While we adults are focusing on the adult issues, the children are just they're just energizing each other, releasing each other, supporting each other through play, through connections, and just even being close to each other. They're so high vibe that they will just shine each other up, and they are gems. They truly are the gems of the world, and that is fantastic. And they're doing much better than most adults. And actually, the generation that we are most concerned about is the elderly generation. You see that they have had a whole entire lifetime in these corrupt systems. They have lost their way so heavily because it's the biggest battle. They have literally walked, shall we use this analogy, up Mount Everest, and every step being incredibly challenging. And they have not been equipped with the food and the water and the footwear and the clothing and the oxygen, shall we say, to mount this feat of this gigantic mountain. And so this is not maybe now the best analogy, but you can appreciate once you start unpacking all of the crimes against humanity and how much it all encompasses all of the systems of corruption. You will look at your elderly who are remaining in your family and in your community, and your heart is going to feel for them, because while they have struggled with the hardest lives, because they have been here the longest, and it is very, very weary, they also are going to feel responsible that they were not able to see this and protect it. They will feel like they let the team down, because the oldest is supposed to naturally be able to direct their pack and sense out this stuff, and they feel like the wise, and they've seen so much. But as the system is also limiting them to thrive, the system has already been taking place to try and put as much chemicals and medicines into their bodies to destroy everything and make it so much harder. I mean, this is the generation, the elderly is actually where we want to give the most support to, because they've been struggling with all this for so much longer, and it is hard for you at your age. And can you imagine being more denser with less connection to yourself because you've had the harder road? And so we are sending love and healing energy to all of the elderly who feel alone, who feel upset, who feel disappointed with themselves that they couldn't help the younger generations. There is so much here that they are holding on to and harboring onto the guilt, and they have got the generational challenges that they are now trying to serve and release. And this will be done. And you all now can see that it's not always the children that you have to be saving, because the children are fine. We want to say this to you many times while you experience this broadcast. The children are fine. The children will be fine. The children are fine. The children have always been fine, because these are the greater lessons that they wanted to experience. So put that aside and start focusing on who is here with you now. Who can you connect with? Who can you reach out to? Who can you put your hand to your hand, your eyes to their eyes? Look at them, give them the human contact. They are suffering just as much as you. You all are victims in this. You all can support each other in this. And remember, you can be strong together, even if you cry and embrace, because you're releasing. And that vulnerability is showing character and strength. There is so much in this. There's so much power and what you're all about to experience. And this is designed to be like this, so you can release all of the dramas and all of what you think is very important with your careers and your busyness and your routines and your jazz dance classes and all of your things that you feel like is going to keep you being a better person. And this is also keeping you in a box, in a square, when you're not actually quite able to fit into that. And so now you can truly be free and be allowed to actually do the things you truly, truly, truly want to do, and who you truly want to be. You all are nurturers, and you all want to unconditionally love and also feel unconditional love given to yourselves. And that is your true state of your natural beings, is loving and receiving and loving and receiving and loving and receiving with joy, with smile. And it's not, well, I gave you 5 loves, now you give me 3 now, and I want 6 tomorrow. It's that bartering system of expecting to give and to receive after you've given. I mean, this is nonsense now, and you're going to have to just keep being the person who just keeps giving, because you will receive more back, because you're loving and you're showing gratitude and sympathy and support to others, and you are doing then true service to humanity. And you have been asked to do your inner work, and we asked you to do this with the lockdowns, and we asked you to please go within seriously and release all of that shadow work, because it needs to be removed as fast as possible, because it doesn't serve you anymore, and it really didn't. And so let's just remove that stagnation, because you've got a bigger role here, and this is your bigger role here. Your bigger role is to acknowledge the people that are hurting, who are in profound shock, who did not see this coming, who feel responsible for it, who feel like the tragedy is a personal attack on their own lives, because it is essentially is like that. So you have to make sure that you can support the people who may want to go stuck in a little bit of the drama of it, and that is fine. They can have a little time to process this. And while we don't want to sound unsympathetic, we are truly sympathetic to all what you're going to experience. Just try to find the people who are sort of stuck in some areas and get them moving. No one wants to be stuck. You want to have that free flow. You need to be able to focus on the positivity. The crimes against humanity have already happened. And so therefore you need to embrace the future. Do not focus on the past. You'll stay in the past. Your new job is to not only move yourself forward, you have to bring others with you, and you can do that by not pushing them, but being your own natural loving being. You can't love others until you truly, truly, truly love yourselves. We want to sing this to you because it's so important now to love yourselves and then be able to do the work for others, because if you haven't loved yourself enough, then you're demanding love from others. Can you see how there is this? There's a circle here. You all deserve love from other people, absolutely, absolutely. But you actually must maintain your own self-love to be able to keep yourself balanced. And so if you keep searching for love from others, then you're going to just be an unbalanced friend, for example, and you're just going to be a bottomless pit of needing love because you can't feel it for yourself. So you're trying to take from others, and you have to fill your own cup, shall we say. And there's so many analogies that we want to say to you about this, but you can see now the significance. If you truly, truly, truly want to help others, you really have to help yourself first, and filling yourself up with your love, your self-confidence, trusting yourself, using your self-intuition, being proud of all of the lessons that you learned, including the hard ones, and knowing that you're still here. You've just experienced a tremendous thing in history that will just be such a huge relief for you to understand, and now you can talk about it and move forward from it. So we just want to stress to you, love yourself first and then help others, and help others as much as you can. And if it may be that sticky neighbour that once may have stolen your rubbish bin, or once may have had that party on their birthday, but they didn't invite you and you've still got a little bit of a chip on your shoulder about that, release that now, because you're all victims to this and you all need to support each other and you need to make sure you're all okay. Be careful of the people who are quieter the most, because they're the ones who are processing it and they're not expressing it, and they're too afraid to start speaking, because if they start speaking, they'll start crying and they cannot cope with that vulnerability. So with smiles and open hearts, we say to you, go forward, because this is your time to help humanity. This is the time that most of you are here for your purpose.
Thank you so much. That's all unbelievable advice. Really, really great. Thank you so much. Subconscious, we also want to ask, do the people in power know about the broadcast?
Yes, most of them do, the ones that haven't been cloned. There is a lot. There are some good people still in power right now who are trying to organize this broadcast. They're very excited because this hasn't just been oh, let's do this on a Thursday, this should be fun. This is a long time project that has needed to have happened a long time beforehand, but it's only been able to be actually taken into effect right now. And this is the first real true opportunity that they've been able to do this right now. It's been planned. They really did want to do it sooner, but there is a lot of working pieces, as you can understand.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the people that will govern us after the broadcast, will they be in the know about the shift coming up in December?
Yes, they will know. Some of them will know, but it will. It's not going to be broadly promoted and advised, because they want people to profoundly heal and use this time to be able to heal. And it is very demotivating for people to know that your lives, as you know, on this planet has got a due date expiry. And so it's a very sensitive situation. There was a timeline where there was going to be no broadcast, and that was going to just sort of let people choose just with their own natural behavior. But then we were looking at it, and the advisory was that you all needed this other big, shocking, surprising boost with all of this energy to be able to give you the extra boost. It's not taking away your free will. It has all been agreed upon that this information would be disclosed at this time, and it is not quite nearly midnight for the end of this life of this planet. But we wanted to give you some time to be able to know the truth, understand the true challenges here, and be able to release it, because you will not want to have these blocks entering into the new earth. It's actually not really possible, because it's such the heavy dimensional vibrational emotions that are still lingering. And so the more inner work that you will do now with being able to tell the truth about stuff, and all your intuitions about some of these systems, and I don't know if the medical system's right, and all the education system seems a bit iffy to me. You know, all of the times that you have just gone, why is this not making sense to me? Why is common sense here not seeming to ring true? All of those times, and it's with all of the industries at some degree. And so, you know, moving forward, it's just nice to be able to be empowered by yourselves. If you can do this inner work, you know, faster, then you're going to just have such a more fantastic time here. And it's about having fun still. Don't sort of pack your bags and have a pity party waiting for the shift off Earth, because there's still so much fun to have here. And you are going to, of course, enjoy the new earth, or going home, or wherever your destinations are after the shift off the planet. There is still some beauty here, and the connections that you have here are still very important. So for those people who are like, are we there yet? Yes, you are very there yet soon, but enjoy this new lives that you haven't experienced, where people are honest and can see the manipulation and talk about that, and that will actually make you all connected to people so much more stronger, and you won't be so isolated in your communities, because you've had that very powerful experience together. So this is a phenomenal time, and we're just sorry that it has to get you to connect to each other and to yourselves, having to learn about these gruesome crimes against humanity, because it's just such a revolting, disgusting thing. And it's not from judgment that we're saying that, but it's just for our perspective, it is quite yes, it's very uncomfortable. We don't see, we have never seen that being of any true value and purpose. And it has been a challenge for us to have watched this, and knowing that we're not able to to change people's free will, and we had to play it out. And it has been very hard on us, knowing that this has been going on. And so that's why the children who came in for those experiences were always the higher souls, who could handle it and heal quickly after the tragedy of losing their life to something so grotesque. So, and it's the same with the animals and the kingdoms, who also are used to feed yourselves. So it is a very disharmony situation. And while we don't lay judgment, because it is all learning, we can see that the emotions of you discovering that your part of your humanity has been used as a food source and as recreational for sexual and drug fetishes and habits. It's going to be something that's going to take some time to process. But on the best side of that, remembering that the crimes have already taken place and you're moving forward, you're going to do a little check on yourself. You're going to revalue yourself a bit better. You're going to go, actually, I don't know if I was doing well with this life, but geez, I'm not them. And instantly you're going to compare, because that's what humans do. You all compare. And suddenly you'll be quite happy that you're still living here. You haven't been named and shamed in a broadcast that has shocked the world. And you're actually going to feel kind of proud of yourselves for actually not being involved with them. And you can see that even the most popular, the most iconic, the most rich people who should have known better did get entrapped with the peer pressure. So there's a lot for you to realize and judge and compare in a positive way. And, it's just going to encourage yourself to be more proud of yourselves than you already are. And for that, we are grateful for that lesson and experience for you. So you can always feel proud of yourselves. We love that when you do. We really do. We really feel so happy for you, because we know it's so hard. This lifetime has been so hard. And so when you finally decide to give yourself a little joy and stop being your worst critics, we're there clapping for you, because we're just so happy, because you guys just torture yourselves as if you were the person that had done the biggest crimes against humanity, and you haven't at all. But you sacrifice your happiness over your own judgment of self. So we also have so much to say about that, and we are your biggest fans and supporters, and we understand that you actually have never really considered us or know that we're even here, and that is all fine too. We're just here, and when you are aware of us, that will also be fine.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Subconscious, if you have savings, will you be able to spend those savings after the broadcast? Will there be a new currency at all?
Yes, you'll be able to spend your money. The money won't just suddenly disappear from your bank accounts or from your purses and wallets. People will still honor the cash system that your currencies are in, but there's also going to be a digital currency as well. So that's suddenly going to just appear almost overnight, and you're all going to get this new currency, which is going to be a universal income, and you can spend that money as you please. And we know that that's going to make you all just feel so relieved, because money just feels like such the biggest burden. And so this was something that was very important for us to be able to ensure was going to happen, because we also know, unfortunately, that money can money can do so much to people, good and bad, and it gets used to feed so many egos. But we were concerned because a lot of people were going without food, and a lot of people were going without power and the basic necessities. And this is not something that should have ever happened. There's always been plenty of great ways to have been sustaining your humanity. And there's so much wastage, and there's just so much going on there. We could talk to you for hours about that, but we won't, because your question was about money. And yes, you are going to get some digital currency that you're going to be able to spend. It's not going to make you buy billion-dollar homes, because you don't actually need them. Think of it as pocket money and just relief. And so, you know, there's some really great positivity and some good bonuses. A bonus. We find it funny that we've just talked about money and saying it's a bonus, and it's not such a bonus in that way, but it is. We love saying the jokes. So yes, you're going to enjoy some new currency, and you won't actually find the stresses of money is going to be as hard on you anymore, because you're living the more true, authentic lives. You've had now new connections with people that you may have not had before. Any sort of stresses with teenage children or elderly family members or neighbors, you're going to just be able to release all of those old past dramas, or those sticking points, because you're going to be able to start seeing each other for who you truly are. Your vibration is going to be raised as well, so you're going to sense each other in a more kind of way. It's going to be nice, and it is going to be fantastic, really. It's going to start off subtly, but it will grow and grow and grow. And so financially, you really do not need to stress about it. Your systems for finances are going to change dramatically for the better.
Thank you so much. With regards to that and the universal income, how will the people working at their jobs, for example, working in the food industry or the supermarkets, how will they view work with this new income?
So there has been such shocking news that has been given to you in the broadcast. It makes people feel very overwhelmed. And the people who are used to their routines and going to their jobs and being with their co-workers, even though maybe their job doesn't give them the best joy, they have the loyal customers, they have their routines, and they have their systems. And so if you truly do dislike your routine, you'll just go to work, and it won't be because you need to for the money. It will be just because you just want to show up. You just want to help. If your job industry is about providing some product or service that you know is going to help someone else, you just want to do it. You just want to help other people, and it gives you good joy. Whereas beforehand, that job that may have been the bane of your life and was just a drag because you got no proper money for it, and your lives were just so stressed and dreary because after slaving with this job that never gave you any joy, and the people were also stressed around you, and everyone was just truly miserable doing this job. And even though, well, yeah, it helps people, but it's not helping me right now. So everyone's glum, and then there's this negativity that just marinates on each other. That's going after the broadcast. You know, that's that whole system, the shock of everything. It's going to, because you have the new money system, because you have the truth, because you have this victory of we have survived, we're all in this together, we're all victims to this, and now we know the truth, and now we can live with the true systems that are actually going to see us and nurture us. Holy hell, you haven't had that life before, only in dreams. Your systems are not poisoning you anymore. Your systems are not corrupting you anymore. So that job that used to just feel like such a burden, you're going to get there early. You're going to get there with a smile on your face, and you're going to freaking love it with full jazz hands, because other people are going to be there showing up to help too. And so it is just joyful, because you don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. You will be there because you want to be there. And can you see the natural excitement of that? You're doing it because you want to help others, rather than I have to do it to pay nearly my mortgage. So the whole attitude and the whole mindsets of people are going to just be so different, even though you'll have the same job and, you know, same skill sets. You know, it's just, you're just going to be a whole lot happier, and it's just going to be carefree, and you're going to be considerate of each other and kind to each other. And, you know, if you muck up during the day, you know, no one's really going to have that negativity to make you feel really bad about it. People are going to basically have this kind of saying like, well, you didn't kill children, you know, like it's going to be this new moral measure now. You know, you weren't a Kardashian, you're fine, you know, you just missed an order. You know, like we're now being really flippant here, and we're not trying to be disrespectful to the fans of the Kardashians that are going to be in denial that this has happened to them. It is about reminding people that the jobs that you have been going to regularly, where you just feel the comfort, you feel the routine, you feel like you have a role in this world, those are the jobs you're still going to continue on with. But you don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to start picking up a hobby or something else, because the money system is not going to be a problem anymore. If your life is going to lead you into the most best joy of doing something else that you've never even thought you could even do in your wildest dreams, you could start doing that. There's nothing stopping you apart from yourself. So it's very exciting times. We want you to just start thinking what you really would like to do. What is it that really gives you the joys? Is it the gardening? Is it, you know, animals? What is it that really, 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 if you could just choose one job in one area and one field, what does it look like for you? Be honest with yourself, because you can do this now. People used to think that they were not necessarily so good if you didn't have those big degrees and those big professions. And now after the broadcast, when you realize those big degrees and those big professions, and you see what they actually stand for, or the corruption that they have been embezzling with and hiding, and how their systems and their researchers and everything they've based their own work with and their whole industry with, when you see that crumbling, you're not going to feel sorry or bad for yourself that you didn't study for 5 years and had $155,000 student loan to pay off. So you're going to see things quite differently. You're not going to see the top professions with the same, ooh, you're going to look at them now like, ew. You know, you're going to have a huge shift in your priorities. And so the service industry are going to be really valued and honoured, There is so much we can say here. It is just tremendous. So focus on you being able to focus on your true passions. Remember who you are. Remember what gets you excited, whether it's putting on some music and just letting your bodies loose and having fun. When you're in that laughter, when you're in that joy, whatever that is, follow that. Please honor yourself with that, because you're unique and special. And your gifts and your passions and your laughter and your heart and you being uplifted is exactly what the world needs. So please help the world. Please remember your passions and joy. You're not just doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for your family and friends as well, because they all want to see you sparkle. They all want to see you shine. You are also gems to humanity, and we love you so much for that.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Now, this may seem very obvious with what you've just said, but will our debt be wiped after the broadcast?
Yes, because you've actually been in such a corrupt system that the tax system itself has been terribly inappropriate. And so, yes, school varsities, student fees, a whole lot of debt's going to be cleared off from you. It is going to be very, very different, and you're going to feel very liberated and free. You'll still need to do maintenance on your homes and on your properties and all that sort of stuff, and there's still a lot of things that you still have to do, but yes, a lot of the debt will be removed because you have been taxed way too much, way too much, physically, emotionally, morally, in every aspect. And so yes, your debts will disappear.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Subconscious. We would like to ask, how will Joanne experience the broadcast?
Oh, she's excited to hear about this one. She's going to rush up and have a look out the window, and she's going to start seeing sparkles in the sky that look like a yellow curtain, and it is going to be like a shimmery essence, and it is going to move and dance along just like the Northern Lights. She's never seen that before, and that has been very exciting for her. She's going to see imagery, and she's going to notice that her phones are going off and her children are awake, and it's just going to be everything happening at the same time. And she's going to have a little cry because she knows that the crimes against humanity happened, and she knows it's happened, but she still really doesn't want to imagine and to accept that these gruesome things happened for so long to so many. And she knows that she wants to be in denial with that, and we will give her that, because even though she knows it's the bigger picture, it still weighs very heavily on her soul. So she will first think, ugh, my gosh, those children had that experience, those souls are amazing, that's just epic. And then she's going to scan emotionally the rest of her country, and she's going to suddenly feel the impact of everyone confused, concerned, and this is going to weigh heavy on her heart as well, because she knows so many people are going to be absolutely freaking beyond confused, shocked, and surprised, and life as they know it is really ended. It's going to be a better life, of course, forward, but no one likes change forced upon them. And so while this is very much sharing the truth, which is going to cause the change and cause the collapsing of the things that need to collapse, absolutely, it's going to be, until things sort of settle into the healing, it is going to be heavy. So she will feel concerned for those people, and then she'll start thinking about all the other countries And she'll just want to tap energetically to all the people she knows around the world, especially all the people she knows and who have left comments on the YouTube channel. Like, and they're worried about stuff, and she really wants to help them, heal them and protect them and do a whole lot of stuff for them. She wants to do too much for them. It's really, they have to do it themselves, but she wants to help the best way she can. So she tries to help too much, and that is sweet and kind, but now they know that they have to watch our videos and do their own homework and apply our information. And she tries her best, but there is too many now for you. So now you can hear from us. If you're asking a question, make sure that you've listened to all of the videos a few times so you know what the content is, and you will all see the new people still confused, and that is fine. You will be fine. So she does have compassion for everyone because she has felt responsible for this information. While she did her due diligence and did many sessions on this with different clients to make sure this is absolutely 100% happening, she did have the heavy burden of worrying that no one else was getting this information, and also there was a lot of naysayers and people who didn't want to believe it and trust it. And so while she had to be diligent and just focus on this work to get the information that has been provided for, she was really concerned that she was missing vital pieces, and she just did not want any stone unturned. She wanted to be able to give people the bigger picture so they could quickly process this as much as possible before the shock of it. And so she will just feel into the energy too of everyone that she has written to, because she doesn't want anyone to be upset and shocked and hurt and surprised and, you know, struggling through this. And while they have to do their own healing and releasing, she would love to take on everyone's pain and burden and just process it herself and not let any of you experience anything discomforting. It is such an honor to be able to try and help people, and she's just, she's like, I don't want this to be posted. I don't want this part to be shared in the session, because she feels it's really embarrassing to show how much she cares for the people who she doesn't even know. But she does tap into their energy and reads them and gives them little hearts and loves. And she does generally, when she writes much love, she does imagine embracing them and giving them a little squeeze and saying, I love you, you can do this, we're going to do this together. And she views the work that she's been doing as teamwork with all of the other people who are listening. She never thinks that this work is her work, because it's not. And she has that approach to it, and she has the bigger picture, the bigger heart for this, and she genuinely does want people to get excited about the future, because life is supposed to be so special, and it's where she enjoys spending most of her true state of being is in that more happier space. And she finds this lower dimensional energy so challenging. And so when she gets excited helping others, she just gets addicted to helping others, because she feels the joy in it. That is her joy. Helping others is her pure joy. And she doesn't expect anything from it. She just wants to help and be helpful. But she also knows she has to love with balances, and she's learning that. And she has been learning that and mastering that quite well. And that has been one of her harder challenges to overcome, because someone who has that pure heart often gets seized upon by people who have the not so positive hearts. And we could go into more, but she is too embarrassed even to have spoken about this. And she's already saying to herself, I'm definitely editing this part out of the session. No one needs to hear this. So moving forward, so she's going to see the light, she's going to hear the devices going, she is going to scan and heal and over worry about everybody else in her country or around the world. She will feel sad that she can't confirm to her closest friends, in her words, holy shit, it's fucking happening. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, this is going to be epic. I want the healing part to be just over and done with, and we can just move on together and be happy. So that's how she's going to approach it. We feel like we have talked about her and it has embarrassed her, but we want her to know it's okay that you care about others. You've already done the releasing of the processes of it. You've already known the bigger picture. You already know that you want the true truth. This is her biggest struggle. Why can't we just have the full truth? Because people are still going to not resonate with the full truth that has been shared with them. She wants the biggest, greatest truth, the honest truth to be delivered, not the kind of the appropriate narrative that's going to help people start being palatable to this information. She kind of thinks that humanity can handle more. She has faith that if you're going to shock people with the truth, it might as well be the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth. And this has been her approach to everything. This is her approach to this work. She gets so frustrated with the mediums and the channelers who are still saying that half-truths about things. She is the whole hog truth lady. Her mission is the full truth and nothing but the truth. And so her standards for accepting half-truths and sort of truths for any topic is very frustrating to her. She doesn't resonate with that because she can sense that it's not the full truth. It is like wanting to eat a cake and then find out it's a donut and there is emptiness inside, and who has eaten the whole of the donut, shall we say. We'll only say this to her as an analogy because she has got probably not the best diet, shall we say, since the corona. She has been eating her feelings and feeding the inner child like it's been birthday treats all day long. She's been eating like birthday parties. And that is fine, that it is her free will to do so, and she has the body that reflects that she has been eating birthday food all since, we will say, April. And that is fine. She's also feeling quite sure now, she's absolutely going to be editing this session and this component. But we know she doesn't actually get this time to actually be able to connect with us. And so while we've got her here, and while she's wringing her hands like, this is so embarrassing, we're finding this amusing to be able to finally tell her that she's doing nothing wrong while she is eating the correct food. It gives her joy, and she actually is approaching it properly. So she's doing so good in so many areas. If she wants to have her cake and eat it too, she can.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. Is there anything subconscious that you can do for Joanne to help her release some of those fears surrounding how she is perceived by other people on her channel, that she may be tooting her own horn? How can we release those feelings of worry?
Well, she's listening to this now and she's understanding that her real big problem is that she just wants to love too much and help too much, and that there's no balance there. And so she can provide the work and share the work, but she can't force people to apply the work. And when people are writing the questions that aren't the most, when they haven't done their own work, they haven't listened to the sessions properly and applied it, they still are curious. And so they're wanting her to give them the information without them actually doing the work. They haven't listened to the session. The sessions have all this energy in it. And the people who are reluctant to actually grow with this information will skim through it, not pay attention, because they actually don't want to be accountable for actually having to do their own crap, their own inner darkness, their own baggage and drama. They're much happier picking on other people and making other people do their work for them. This is why they ask her to give them the information in the comments, because they're not going to do it. Why should they listen to something? Why should they process something? They just want handouts of information which they can just put in their pocket. They don't care it took her some time. They don't understand that it took her time away from her children. They just want to be given stuff because it's like a form of love. They just are seeking, they just are needing attention from others, because they've got really no self-love of themselves. So they're seeking attention from others, they're wanting stuff from others. And, that's what we want her to know, is that these people who could listen to the sessions and apply it don't really want to, because they don't really want to do the harder work. They just want to kick someone's tires, so to speak, and make her work like a little monkey and to help them. They don't really want her help. They're just wasting her time, and they are quite happy with that.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We are still a little bit unsure, Subconscious, about how contact after the broadcast will take place. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
So are you referring to when you will be able to email and connect with each other again?
Yes.
Okay, so once all the broadcasts are over, then you're going to be able to have that better connection, worldwide connection, back to emailing again. You are going to be able to, it's going to be around the second to third day, but because of your time zones, it's going to be a lag. So it is going to be fine. It is, you just need to spend this time. Just think of it as an extended movie. This is why we say get the popcorn out and sit and just endure it, listen to it all, process it as much as you can. Don't try to do too many other things. And so while we've taken away your toys and your friends, shall we say, you're just needing to listen to the information and process it. And also, once again, just like our sessions here with the videos here, there's energy in listening to our broadcasts. So we encourage you to take this seriously, and you will not be triggered with anything too gruesome. We promise. We have put that aside for something. We can access that information somewhere else. You won't stumble across it. We're not going to show you too much of the grizzly. It's enough to be able to understand it. I mean, you're all, unfortunately, very accustomed to violence. I mean, your TV, your news, all of the information that you're experiencing with most things, TV programs, for example, your gamings, you're all quite trained in seeing, and probably can spot a really bad, fake, botched murder scene because you've all been binge watching the dramas of some police show, for example. You're quite used to seeing each other be shot at, and you know what we were saying. So we distracted ourselves because we still want you to understand that there is so much about your daily lives that are putting you into a really negative mind space. Even though you see it as entertainment, you're marinating yourselves in that drama. Your body literally does not know that you are sitting at home with your glass of wine or your hot chocolate or whatever, watching a scary movie, and you're not involved with it. Your body literally thinks, because you are seeing this drama, this tension, your body thinks you are literally in that movie. So your adrenaline, everything about your tensions in your body, your fear, your panic, everything gets heightened when you're watching those scary movies, and not even necessarily the scary ones. The drama, the suspense, the betrayal, all of that stuff. Your body literally has those emotions as you're watching it. And so you're really changing your body's, should be relaxing state, but your bodies are responding to what you're seeing. And so, there is so much of what you are all doing in a daily routine that you actually aren't aware of that takes toll of your bodies and puts your body into a state of shock and fear. And so, we want you to start understanding how you can nurture yourselves better through your bodies. So be careful of what you're exposing exposing yourself to, because this is quite a concern, that you are putting yourselves in much challenging situations by just, in quotation marks, being entertained.
Thank you so much. That is so interesting. So, Subconscious, what is the best approach for Joanne to take after the broadcast with regards to her work? How would you like her to continue?
Well, she has free will and she can do as she pleases. But she would like to do more healing sessions where people can release. She also would like to do a lot of sessions where she calls in the departed to hear their sides of the story and what their messages to humanity were, and just to be able to understand. Because remember, the truth is some of those crimes against humanity, villains, actually are clones, and so the originals may have been killed for trying to escape that system, trying to get away from those rituals and that abuse and those drugs. So, you know, she's going to start sensing certain souls are wanting her to connect with them, because they actually want to tell their side of the story, because the broadcasts aren't painting, again, the bigger, truer picture. And so she's going to trigger back into being the perfectionist to get the full truth and nothing but the full truth. And so she's going to notice these people who she really doesn't have really much clue of, apart from some of the celebrities, but they will be wanting to use her to be able to give their voices to the channel, because they are not comfortable with having their names, you know, their integrity be misconstrued. And so while there is a little bit of a whitewash with this information, and, you know, there are some beings that are wanting clearly to say, excuse me, well, I wasn't totally innocent, and I was peer pressured into a whole lot of stuff, and I just, I did things I definitely regret. They will be wanting to clear their name and also add their statements into the sessions. So she's going to feel that that's quite busy, so she probably could be doing one of those sessions a day, because there's going to be, we laugh because it's not funny, but we can see the massive line of people patiently waiting for her to connect with them, and they're like, we're here, we'll just wait for her. And so she'll know that there is this big long queue of people that want to talk to her, to be able to talk to you guys, to be able to express themselves and to apologize and to kind of, yeah, do their own true confession and not the ones that may have been their clones. So there's that she could take on and honor in that way. And then there's going to be the onslaught of people who desperately want their own sessions, to be able to answer their bigger pictures. And she's going to find that very overwhelming, because there'll just be way too many people for her to even process. And at the moment, she actually doesn't have any other practitioners where she could palm off that work to. And so she's got the stresses of that, because she doesn't want to say no to people. And so it's going to be a balance between the family life and the sessions, and then the other connections to the departed. So she can do a lot more work, and she was hoping that we would be like, oh, she's totally on holiday now, she's retired, congratulations. No, we will not be saying that to her, because she actually does have still the same pace of work. She's gagging at the thought that she has to work at the same pace as she has been this week, because it was multiple sessions for weeks now and months, and she is just thinking that she would like to have a break. But the truth is, once she just sits down and just relaxes into just being, she gets instantly recharged again. Her information of new sessions and subject matters bounce into her head, and once again she's lit with inspiration and she just wants to come straight back to work. So we find it amusing that she thinks she wants days off, and we know that when she starts deciding that she's going to have a day off at 6 a.m, for example, at 6:15 she's already got her day schedule planned so she can bounce back. So she finds she doesn't like to waste her time with tardiness, and she is a very active relaxer, and doing her work gives her so much joy that it is a beautiful balance. It definitely is not a balance that anyone else really can maintain because she is so driven with the perfectionism. Not that many people can keep up with the demands and passion and appetite she has for this work.
Amazing. Thank you so much. But just to confirm that if Joanne feels like she wants to take a small break, if she wants to take a little bit more time to herself, this is completely fine and okay to do.
Yes, and we're laughing because what she really wants is just allow herself to have a 15-minute break and then she's going to be recharged again. But she doesn't actually, she can have holidays and she can relax, that's not a problem. You know, her life was also going to be different in many ways after the broadcast, and she will find the balance because she always does. She's just concerned. I think her biggest true concern was, while she sort of says, oh, I would love it if they could say I could retire. That's just her joke. That's actually her fear. She actually would be really afraid if we were like, yep, bitch, you're done, thanks, next. She would be so lost because she has the identity of doing this work and she feels so comfortable with this work now that it is not something she wants to give up because she feels like she's always, this is her routine with all her jobs that she's ever done and all her careers as she gets to the peak of the top. And then it loses interest for her. But this work is so complex, so vast, so unique that she would never, ever get bored. And this is what attracts her to it the most, is all of the lessons, all of the learning, all of the perspectives. It's everything for her and her busy mind. And so this is just her Disneyland. Oh, I don't want to say Disneyland right now, it's too soon. So it's all very complicated, but she knows what we say.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that perspective. Thank you. So Subconscious, finally, can we please ask for some healing energy to be sent to everyone watching this video right now?
Yes, we're going to call on some collectives now because there is many beings, many people who are listening, not just as soon as this is recorded, but through all time. The collectives that are here have come in because they know that this is a bigger group healing, and they are very grateful and thankful to be able to have this opportunity because they're all representing all of the greater beings and collectives from all of the people who are ever listening to this message. And so they're all here to be representatives of that. So they're sending in their own frequencies of energy into this because they all want to add their love and their magic, shall we say, but we don't want to say magic for the people who still think that the word magic may have something that it doesn't. So we're going to just focus into this now because the energy is very somber and stressed because there is a lot of pressure when you have the unknown, and you know it's big because you can feel that the information and the situation is big and there is a lot of concern. And while we can say there is absolutely nothing to worry about, when you have the bigger picture, you understand exactly why and everything is happening, and it is for your betterment. You're just going to now imagine, and we love doing this because we've done this before, but we didn't introduce ourselves. The collective is energetically arranging everyone in a big circle. And energetically, you're all holding hands in a big ring. So you're all connected and all in a big circle. And we're flooding you all with gold light, sprinkling, sparkling, beautiful, pure golden light all over you, all together. It's like effervescence of energy just coming, trickling down through your crown chakra. It's leading down through the throat chakra, going down to the heart chakra, and it's sending out healing energy to all. And you're noticing your connection as you have your imagination, shall we say, connecting you to your energetic bodies, that you're holding each other's hands and you're looking around and sensing everyone else looking around and sensing you. And you are this one great big group of people who are about to experience something very extraordinary and very liberating. And we want you to feel and sense the bigger group of all these beings here holding hands together. And you will always be holding hands together as we support you and nurture you with this golden bright energy that is flowing through your body and has been released out into your legs and feet. And you're breathing out the golden energy of light and allowing it to flow through your crown chakra all the way down to your feet and out through to the universe. You have now released your emotions and fears because you now know you are still connected with your hand holding of each other, and you will not need to release the hands from each other. You know energetically you're all supporting each other, and there is a bigger group here that is supporting you. You're never alone. In fact, you're crowded with people, surrounded with people holding hands together, all enjoying the golden light of energy moving throughout your bodies. We want you to know that you are loved and worthy of all, and you deserve to be in this group. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So Subconscious, I finished my questions, and thank you so much for being here today. And also thank you to you and all the collectives that were involved in this video and have been involved in all of Joanne's videos on the YouTube page and her work throughout her life. Thank you so, so much. We all really, really appreciate your help and love.
It's our pleasure, because we do enjoy being able to connect with you, because we do get frustrated when we try, and because of your lack of self-love, you block us. And we're not just speaking of you, we're speaking of people in general. We are always here to try and help you. And it's so frustrating when you keep asking for our help and we try to connect with you and you still block it. And so it is lessons, and it all does not make any difference when your life experiences have completed, because you've learned those lessons. So there is no bad, there is just learning and lessons, and we've said this so many times. So we're always happy to help. We just want you all to remember we are here and we always have been here. And so trust the very first thing that you feel when we connect with you and you ask and call us in, because we're always here You deserve to be able to connect with us because we are here for you. We get a bit bored if you ignore us, so please let us do our jobs, and we will want to see you do your joy and be your true happinesses, happy selves, because it makes us happy. It makes us feel like you're enjoying your experiences. And while we know that life can't always be about the happy, we also think that you've also been indulging yourselves, not only just from your own choices of the way you want to approach things, but because of your societies. So you've all had the very, 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 very hard challenges. And so with this big shift, with this big broadcast, you'll now be able to shift off all of that self-doubt and everything that no longer serves you. And it's going to be fantastic because, you know, we've purposely removed all of the obstacles that have always made you feel less than. And that's been, your society has been purposely making you feel less than. That wasn't us. And that was an agenda that was placed on you. And so now you can literally have the fun and excitement of knowing that you can feel happier, enjoy life, because it's again going to change very soon again. So we understand people who don't like change. They're like, nope, I am not interested in the change. The change is good for you, and this is what we will be discussing with you again and reminding you of the bigger picture. You're all having these bigger steps. This year has been about evolving you and getting you ready for your actual real fun and beautiful and exciting lives on the earth. And so we know that it feels like it's an invisible planet. It's never going to happen. And this is why we say to you, this is why the broadcast is so important for you, because this will clarify to you that it actually is real. It actually is literally happening, and you don't have to worry anymore about whether it is all made up or not. This is the physical proof that you've all been asking for. The broadcast is going to be something that will be able to show you without a doubt that what we've been telling you all along is absolutely true.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everything.